Coronation Street confirms Debbie Webster's devastating prison sentence, and nothing will ever be the same. Her fate is finally sealed, or is it? Spoilers follow for Coronation Street's episode airing Friday the 6th of February, available now on ITVX and YouTube, ahead of its broadcast on ITV1. Coronation Street delivers one of its most emotionally bruising episodes in recent memory tonight as Debbie Webster's fate is decided in court, and the outcome is nothing short of devastating. For a character long defined by resilience, sharp humor and fierce loyalty, Debbie's sentencing marks a dark turning point that will ripple through Weatherfield for months to come. As the courtroom doors close behind her, Debbie realizes the true cost of a decision rooted in love, guilt and sacrifice. What she believed would be a matter of months behind bars becomes something far more harrowing. Years of incarceration, stripped from her family, her community, and the life she fought so hard to build. A reckoning years in the making. Friday's episode centers entirely on Debbie's sentencing hearing, following her extraordinary decision to take full responsibility for the devastating multi-car collision that formed the centerpiece of Coronation Street and Emmerdale's recent crossover event. The crash, dramatic, chaotic and tragic, left lives changed forever. But beneath the twisted metal and flashing blue lights lies a secret far more personal. While Debbie has stood before the court admitting guilt, viewers know the truth. She was not the one behind the wheel in those critical moments. Carl, her son, whose existence Debbie has fiercely protected from the world, was drink driving when the crash occurred. Faced with the prospect of exposing him to a prison sentence of his own, Debbie made an unthinkable choice. She stepped forward, she lied, and in doing so, she placed her own freedom and future on the line. It is a decision that feels painfully in character for Debbie Webster. Time and again, she has proven that when it comes to family, there is no limit to what she is willing to sacrifice. A lonely walk into court. As Debbie arrives at court, the weight of her actions is written all over her face. Gone is the swagger and bravado that once defined her presence in Weatherfield. In its place is a woman quietly bracing herself for consequences she can no longer control. By her side is husband Ronnie Bailey, a steady and reassuring presence in an otherwise overwhelming moment. Joining him in the gallery are Kevin Webster, Abby Webster and Ryan Connor, familiar faces whose silent support underscores just how deeply Debbie's predicament has shaken those closest to her. But one absence looms larger than all the rest. Carl is nowhere to be seen. For viewers, the moment is quietly devastating. Debbie has risked everything to protect her son, yet when she needs him most, he is not there. Whether his absence is born of fear, guilt or self-preservation remains unclear, but its emotional impact is unmistakable. Debbie stands alone. Hope, then horror. As proceedings begin, the judge's initial remarks offer a glimmer of hope. He acknowledges Debbie's previously unblemished driving record, her early admission of guilt, and the deeply concerning medical circumstances surrounding her vascular dementia diagnosis. For a moment, it feels as though compassion might prevail. The courtroom, and the audience, dares to hope that the system will show mercy, but that hope is brutally short-lived. In my judgment, the judge states gravely, this case is so serious that only an immediate custodial sentence is appropriate. The words land like a physical blow. He continues, delivering the sentence that will change Debbie's life forever. Therefore, I arrive at a sentence of 4 years. After a reduction for plea, the sentence is lowered to 2 years and 8 months. Nearly 3 years in prison. For Debbie, the reality is incomprehensible, a sentence that steals the breath away. As she is led away by officers, Debbie barely has time to process what she has heard, let alone say goodbye. There are no final embraces, no whispered reassurances, no chance to gather herself before the steel doors close behind her. The image of Debbie Webster being taken into custody is one that will linger long after the episode ends. It is not just the loss of her freedom that cuts so deeply, but the cruel timing of it all. Debbie is not simply facing prison, she is facing prison while living with early onset dementia. Dementia behind bars, a new kind of fear. The show has never shied away from difficult subject matter, but Debbie's storyline ventures into particularly uncharted emotional territory. The prospect of incarceration is terrifying under any circumstances. Combined with a progressive neurological condition, it becomes something far more disturbing. Debbie's dementia diagnosis has already begun to affect her memory, her emotional regulation and her sense of control. In prison, an environment defined by routine, hierarchy and constant pressure, those vulnerabilities are magnified. How will she cope when familiar faces are replaced by strangers? What happens when confusion turns to fear? Who will advocate for her when she struggles to advocate for herself? These are questions Coronation Street does not rush to answer, and that restraint only deepens the sense of dread. Is this really the end of the road? As the episode closes, one question hangs heavily in the air. Is Debbie truly going to serve nearly 3 years behind bars, or is there a twist still to come? Soap fans are well trained to expect the unexpected, and Coronation Street has a long history of last-minute revelations, hidden evidence and moral reckonings. Carl's continued silence feels unsustainable. The truth has a way of surfacing in Weatherfield, often at the worst possible moment. Yet for now, the show resists easy resolutions. Debbie's punishment is real, the bars are real, and the emotional fallout is only just beginning. A familiar face awaits behind bars. Looking ahead, upcoming episodes promise to explore Debbie's experience inside prison, including a tense encounter with fellow inmate Lou Michaelis, as Farrell Hegarty reprises the role for a guest stint. The meeting signals that Debbie's journey is far from over, and that prison life will bring its own set of alliances, conflicts and moral tests. This is not a storyline about redemption wrapped up in neat storytelling beats. It is about endurance. She's going to need her mates more than ever. Coronation Street producer Kate Brooks recently shed light on what lies ahead for Debbie, and her words offer both reassurance and warning. Debbie's going to need her mates more than ever, Brooks revealed. Glenda, Christina, Bernie and Sally really rally and get her through these darker moments, as she braces herself for a future that is looking quite uncertain at the minute. The emphasis on female friendship and solidarity feels deliberate, a counterbalance to the isolation Debbie now faces. Obviously, getting sent to prison is a terrible thing, Brooks continued. Getting sent to prison if you've got early onset dementia must be a terrifying prospect. So she's struggling with all these emotions. It is a rare moment of vulnerability for a character who has spent years masking fear with bravado. A story about love, loyalty, and consequences. At its core, Debbie Webster's sentencing storyline is not just about crime and punishment. It is about the impossible choices parents make for their children. About the cost of silence. About how love, when taken to extremes, can become its own kind of tragedy. Debbie did what she believed was right. Now she must live with the consequences. Whether justice will ultimately be served, in the legal sense or the moral one, remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, Coronation Street has once again proven its ability to marry high-stakes drama with raw human emotion. And Weatherfield will never be quite the same again.